You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
I refuse killers, explosive courtroom meltdowns. A young woman screams lies at the judge. A fugitive faints in the dock. A teen wails as her mother sobs. Another collapses under the weight of his guilt. These aren't scenes from a thriller, but real courtroom eruptions where justice meets raw defiance. When killers face the gavel, their outbursts turn solemn trials into chaotic spectacles, exposing the fractured minds behind heinous crimes. Today we dive deep into 4 harrowing cases: Ky'Andrea, Kimberly Kessler, Ky'Andrea Cook, and Jacob Morgan, where murders, carjackings, and fatal fires led to trials that shocked communities. This documentary isn't just about convictions, it's about the raw, unfiltered moments when criminals unravel, leaving families, grieving judges stunned, and society questioning how such evil takes root. Firstly, Ky'Andrea, a stabbing fueled by rage. May 2013, Jackson, Michigan. Ky'Andrea, 30, was living with her boyfriend, Marcel Hill, 38, when a heated argument turned deadly. In a fit of rage, Gamut breached trust by grabbing a kitchen knife and stabbing Hill 11 times in the chest, abdomen, and back, leaving him to bleed out on their apartment floor. Education warns that domestic disputes can escalate to lethal violence when anger is unchecked. Community programs teaching conflict de-escalation could prevent such tragedies. Police arrived to find Hill dead. Gamut, blood-soaked, admitting "I stabbed him," her voice devoid of remorse. Charged with first-degree murder. Her 2014 trial in Jackson County. Circuit Court gripped Jackson laws under Mississippi's murder statute. Ms. Codan, 97,319, mandated life for intentional killing. Gamut's defense claimed self-defense, alleging Hill had abused her, but evidence, blood patterns, and deliberate wounds pointed to premeditation. At sentencing, Gamut erupted, interrupting Judge John McBain. "Everything was lies. I was convicted of lies." Her mother sobbed in the gallery, pleading for mercy. McBain delivered a scathing rebuke. "You stabbed until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison." The consequence was life without parole. Hill's family, including his sister, wept their grief, drowning Gamut's defiance. "If this was a death penalty state you'd be getting," the chair McBain added. As deputies escorted Gamut out, her screams echoed, a haunting reminder of a man's life stolen by rage. The courtroom, packed with mourners, stood as a testament to a community's loss.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
Next, Kimberly Kessler, a fugitive's facade, collapses 1993 to 2018. Nassau County, Florida. Kimberly Kessler, 49, lived under the alias Jennifer Seibert, working at Tangle's hair salon while evading a decades-long manhunt for prior crimes. In 2018, she breached trust by luring co-worker Jolene Cummings, 34, to a secluded area where she stabbed and killed her, disposing of the body, which remains unfound. Education stresses that fugitives often hide in plain sight. Robust background checks and community vigilance could unmask such predators. Sooner, Kessler's facade crumbled when co-workers reported suspicions, leading to her arrest. Her 2022 trial in Nassau County Circuit Court was a circus of chaos. Laws under Florida's first-degree murder statute. Florida Statute 78204 mandated life or death. Kessler's behavior was unhinged. She smeared feces on cell walls, screamed at guards, and refused her public defender, ranting. They appointed Jolene's cousin. She accused the system of conspiracies, feigning dramatically in the dock as deputies rushed to revive her. Judge James Daniel ordered her removal to a separate room, stating, "Your disruptions won't derail justice." Evidence was overwhelming: DNA on a murder weapon, co-worker testimonies, and Kessler's contradictory statements. Convicted of first-degree murder. She faced sentencing. "I refuse the public defender's office." She shouted. Daniel sentenced her to life without parole. The consequence noting, "Your lies can't hide the truth." Cummings' family, including her mother, sat in silence. Their tears a quiet rebuke to Kessler's chaos as deputies led her away. Kessler's final scream, "I refuse," rang hollow, her false identity shattered, leaving a courtroom scarred by her deception.
All fines and costs
Thirdly, Ky'Andrea Cook, a teen's deadly dating app. Trap, October 2017. Daytona Beach, Florida. Ky'Andrea Cook, 18, and her 17-year-old boyfriend Jamal Harris used a dating app to lure victims for carjackings. They targeted a 29-year-old man arranging a meetup to rob him. Cook acted as lookout while Harris shot the victim, who survived, but was seriously injured, stealing his car and wallet. 2 days later, they attempted another carjacking, but police apprehended them after a chase breach occurred. When Cook enabled the violent robbery, her role critical to the crime's execution. Education emphasizes that dating apps can be exploited for crime. Enhanced safety protocols and user education could protect vulnerable individuals. At her 2017 sentencing in Volusia County Circuit Court, Cook faced charges of carjacking and accessory to attempted murder laws under Florida's carjacking statute, Florida Statute 812133, and accessory to attempted murder, Florida Statute 77704, carried up to 7 years for carjacking and more for accessory. Cook's mother believed a plea deal would avoid prison, but Judge Dawn Nichols sentenced her to 20 years, stating, "You enabled a shooting that nearly killed a man." Cook wailed, "I refuse the public defender," as her mother collapsed in tears, shouting she was supposed to walk free. Deputies restrained Cook as the courtroom erupted. The consequence was later reduced to 11 years after an appeal. But the victim's trauma, physical and emotional, remained. Cook's tears couldn't erase her role in a near-fatal robbery. The courtroom, filled with the victim's relieved yet anguished family, stood as a stark reminder of how technology can amplify youthful impulsivity into deadly outcomes.
The state has, in fact, met their burden, so therefore I am going to find that there is probable cause to charge the individual with the down over for General Sessions Court for both charges.
Lastly, Jacob Morgan, a teen's fatal fire. March 2015, Rock Hill, South Carolina. Jacob Morgan, 17, was left alone to care for his 14-month-old half-brother Joshua Hill in their family home. Struggling with undiagnosed depression, Morgan breached his duty by accidentally setting a fire while attempting to dispose of trash, which engulfed the house, killing Joshua in the blaze. Prosecutors initially argued intent, but Morgan's plea clarified it was unintentional. Education underscores that teens in caregiving roles need mental health support. Counseling and stress management could prevent such tragedies. At his 2016 plea hearing in York County Circuit Court, Morgan faced charges of involuntary manslaughter and unlawful conduct toward a child laws under South Carolina's Involuntary Manslaughter Statute S.C. Code 16,360 and Unlawful Conduct Statute S.C. Code 63,570, mandated up to 5 and 7 years respectively. Morgan, tearful, pleaded guilty, sobbing, "I loved my brother, I didn't mean this." His defense cited mental health struggles, but Judge Daniel Hall was firm. "A child died because of your negligence. Sentenced to 15 years, reduced to 7, after time served the consequence, reflected leniency for his youth." As the gavel fell, Morgan collapsed, his cries mingling with his mother's wails. Joshua's parents sat in stoic grief, their loss a wound no sentence could heal. The courtroom became a space of fragile redemption, haunted by a teen's tragic mistake. Kamia Gamut's defiant screams, Kimberly Kessler's theatrical feints, Ky'Andrea Cook's desperate wails, Jacob Morgan's tearful collapse. These killers turned courtrooms into battlegrounds of emotion, their outbursts exposing the raw edge of crime's devastation. From a boyfriend stabbed in rage to a coworker killed under a false identity, a dating app turned deadly, and a fire that stole a child's life. Their actions shattered families and communities. Subscribe and follow Red Tape Red Flag on all platforms. And don't forget to like, share, and comment.